Hello and welcome to Catch Up English. We are so glad you're here with us. I am your host, and today we are jumping into a brand new deep dive.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited for today's topic because it is something literally everyone has to deal with.
Exactly. Our learning goal today is to master the perfect business welcome. We are going to look at some real-life professional training materials to, help you build your English fluency and feel totally confident.
Right, because welcoming a guest in a second language is, well, it's really stressful.
It really is. Picture this. You are standing right there at the reception desk of your office building. Or maybe you're waiting at the airport arrivals gate.
Oh, holding one of those little cardboard signs?
Yes, holding the sign with the company logo. And right in the pit of your stomach, you feel that, really tight knot of anxiety. You are waiting for eye contact.
Because you know you have to welcome this highly important new client entirely in English.
And it feels like a test, right? We are looking at a really fascinating stack of corporate reception guidelines today. And we want to extract the exact English phrases you need.
But we also want to look at the psychology behind it.
Yes, exactly. Okay, let's unpack this. Because the fear of that awkward silence goes way beyond just getting your grammar right.
It really does. The materials we are reviewing today show that a successful welcome isn't just walking someone from the lobby to the boardroom.
No, it's much more than that.
Right. It is about making them feel safe. You have to build a connection, and it all begins with the first few seconds.
Yeah, the sources are completely relentless about this initial window. They repeatedly talk about the 7-second rule.
The 7-second rule, it is a big one.
Right. Basically, you only have 7 seconds to make a first impression. Before you've even finished introducing yourself, the tone for the entire business partnership is just, it's permanently set.
Which is terrifying, right?
It is. Think of it like the appetizer at a really expensive restaurant.
Oh, that's a good comparison.
If you take that first bite and the soup is cold, you spend the rest of the meal being suspicious of the chef. You just don't trust the main course, no matter how good it looks.
Exactly. The human brain makes a really quick judgment and just sticks to it. If those first 7 seconds are warm, later mistakes are easily forgiven.
But wait, I have to challenge this a bit. Doesn't knowing this rule completely backfire? Especially for our listeners who are, communicating in a second language.
How do you mean?
Well, if you know you only have 7 seconds, your brain is frantically searching for the correct English verb, right? You're trying to remember the right preposition. Aren't you just eating up those precious 7 seconds looking panicked?
That is such a great point. What's fascinating here is the clash between trying to be perfect and trying to be warm.
Right, because your brain is working so hard.
Exactly. When your brain uses all its power to hunt for perfect grammar, it pulls energy away from your social skills. It is like running a huge software update in the background of your computer.
Oh, so everything else starts freezing up.
Yes. Your face freezes. Your posture gets stiff. You break eye contact because you are literally looking up, trying to remember a vocabulary word.
You physically shut down just to focus on translation.
And to the client walking toward you, who has no idea you are translating a complex sentence, that physical stiffness looks like coldness.
Wow. So they think you aren't happy to see them.
Right. By trying to be linguistically flawless, you accidentally communicate that you aren't welcoming.
Which means trying to be perfect is actively hurting the business relationship before it even starts.
Exactly. The primary goal in those first 7 seconds is just connection. A relaxed posture, a warm smile, and a basic, grammatically flawed hello, happy see you is always better than a tense, robotic, perfect sentence.
That is incredibly liberating for English learners. Just smile, make eye contact, and survive those first 7 seconds without panicking about grammar.
Just be a human first.
I love that. So you survive the lobby, but the interaction doesn't end there. Now you have to walk the client to the conference room.
Ah, yes. The dreaded transition phase.
The awkward walk. The silence sets in. You only hear the wheels of their luggage, and you feel this desperate need to say something.
This is where hosts get the most anxious.
So the corporate guidelines give us a very strict strategy here. They explain that in English-speaking business cultures, small talk is bound by a safe triad. A triad is a group of 3.
Right. The 3 safe topics.
You are instructed to only talk about the journey, the weather, or the hotel. For example, is this your first time in the city?
Or, how is the traffic from the airport?
Exactly. And the rules strictly forbid heavy topics. You do not ask about money. You don't talk politics. Nothing deep.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, small talk is completely misunderstood. People think it's just a superficial waste of time.
Well, yeah, it feels a bit fake to ask a CEO about the rain when you're about to do a huge business deal.
It does feel that way. But small talk is not about exchanging information.
What is it actually doing?
It establishes psychological comfort. It is like a little behavioral dance to prove you aren't a threat.
Oh, I see.
You don't ask about the weather because you actually care about the rain. You bring it up because it is a shared reality. It lowers the other person's heart rate because it shows you are predictable and safe.
Okay, that reframes the whole concept. You are signaling safety. And the sources actually highlight one specific vocabulary word here. It's the gold standard for this phase.
Oh, yes, jet lag.
Yes, jet lag, which is that really tired feeling you get when you fly across different time zones. The guidelines heavily encourage hosts to ask if the client has jet lag.
It is a highly strategic move. It bridges the gap from basic safety to active empathy.
Because they have just flown 10 hours, they're dehydrated, tired, and probably nervous.
Exactly. When you specifically ask about jet lag, you are validating their physical exhaustion. You are saying, I recognize you just went through a long flight.
You become a caretaker, not just a business partner.
And that builds an enormous amount of trust during a simple walk down a hallway.
So you navigate the awkward walk. You use the safe triad, whether journey, hotel. You ask about their jet lag. Then you finally reach the meeting room.
And the environment changes again.
Yes. You open the door to the boardroom, and you have to pivot from being the friendly guide to being the professional host.
This is where the linguistic tools really need to change.
The sources provide specific vocabulary upgrades for this moment. Let's look at 3 key expressions you can use, our language takeaways.
Perfect. This is where we upgrade from basic to pro.
The first upgrade. The guidelines say to abandon the basic phrase, sit down here. Instead, you should say, please make yourself comfortable.
Sit down is a command. It feels restrictive.
Like you're telling a child what to do.
Right. But make yourself comfortable is an invitation. It tells the guests they can relax and own their space.
The second upgrade is about offering drinks. Instead of the blunt question, what do you want to drink? You upgrade to, can I get you some refreshments?
Refreshments is such a great pro word.
It is. Refreshments is the formal term that includes coffee, tea, water, and maybe light snacks.
It really elevates the feeling of the room. You are showing them active hospitality.
The third upgrade is the most heavily emphasized one. Instead of saying, here is the plan for today, you upgrade to, I've put together an itinerary for your visit.
An itinerary, a formal schedule of events.
Yes. Let's actually do a quick dialogue scene here, a real-life scenario so you can hear how this flows. I will be the host, and you be Mr. Anderson, the client who just arrived from London.
Sounds good. I'm walking into the boardroom now.
Mr. Anderson, please make yourself comfortable. Can I get you some refreshments? We have coffee, tea, or sparkling water.
A black coffee would be wonderful, thank you.
Right away. And while I grab that, I've put together an itinerary for your visit today so you know exactly what to expect.
Oh, excellent, thank you.
And scene. See how smooth that is.
It creates a very clean, professional sequence.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. This vocabulary upgrade mirrors the difference between a fast food cashier and a luxury hotel concierge.
Oh, that's a perfect analogy.
The cashier says, what do you want? The concierge says, can I get you? They're both offering you food, but the feeling is completely different. Does using the word refreshments actually change the power dynamic?
It absolutely does. Language dictates framing. What do you want? Puts the burden on the guest. It can feel a little confrontational.
Yeah, like a demand.
But, can I get you some refreshments? Is a proactive offer. A luxury concierge doesn't look subservient when they offer you a drink. They look like they are in total control of the environment.
You own the space, and you are generously hosting them. Let's do a quick fluency builder for our listeners. Let's practice those 3 expressions.
Great idea. I will say the basic phrase, and you say the upgraded pro phrase.
Okay, ready?
Instead of saying sit down,
You say, please make yourself comfortable.
instead of what do you want to drink?
Try saying, can I get you some refreshment?
And instead of here is our plan.
Say, I've put together an itinerary for your visit.
Perfect. Those 3 phrases completely change the tone.
But I want to talk more about that word itinerary. It feels like such a standard corporate word, but the sources treat it like a crucial psychological tool. Why is that?
Well, it raises an interesting point about what actually causes stress in business. It usually isn't the work itself. The main trigger for stress is ambiguity, the unknown.
Right. When your brain doesn't know what's going to happen, it assumes the worst.
Exactly. If Mr. Anderson sits down without an itinerary, he has no idea what he's walking into. Is it a quick 30-minute chat? Is it a 4-hour marathon meeting?
He doesn't even know when he can use the restroom or if he's going to get lunch.
And his brain is subconsciously worrying about all those unknown variables. We call that cognitive load. His brain is working overtime.
So he can't even focus on the actual business.
Right. So handing him an itinerary the moment he sits down is a profound act of care. It signals that you have managed the timeline. The unknown is gone.
You take that worry right off his shoulders. You neutralize the stress before the meeting even starts.
And you build this entire feeling of safety, empathy, and authority with just 3 or 4 well-chosen English phrases.
It is so incredibly practical.
Okay.
It is time for our pro tip and recap. What is the big takeaway here?
The big takeaway is that welcoming a guest is about behavioral engineering.
Simple steps to guide their feelings.
Yes. First, remember the 7-second window. Focus on a warm smile and good body language, not on perfect grammar.
Do not panic about your verb tenses.
Second, during the awkward walk, use the safe triad weather, journey, hotel, and ask about their jet lag to build empathy.
And finally, when you enter the meeting room, use your upgraded vocabulary. Invite them to make themselves comfortable, offer refreshments, and give them an itinerary to remove all their anxiety.
You are consciously creating an environment where they feel safe enough to actually do business.
That is brilliant. So to our listeners, the next time you're waiting in a lobby to receive a guest and you feel that familiar knot in your stomach, don't panic. You are not taking an English exam. You are simply engineering their comfort.
And if you enjoyed practicing these phrases with us, please make sure to subscribe to Catch Up English. We love helping you build your fluency every week.
Yes, hit that subscribe button and practice these phrases out loud. It really helps. But before we go, I want to leave you with a final provocative thought.
Oh, I love these.
We have spent this whole deep dive talking about corporate reception guidelines and international business clients. But human psychology is exactly the same outside the office.
The brain still needs safety and predictability.
Exactly. So think about the next time you welcome a brand new friend into your home, or the next time you host an anxious in-law for a holiday weekend.
Oh, in-laws definitely need an itinerary.
Right. Instead of just winging it, what if you consciously use these exact same hospitality tools, validating their journey, offering refreshments instead of demanding a drink order and letting them know the plan for the day?
That could completely change the dynamic.
It really could be transformative in your personal life. Think about it. Thank you so much for joining us on Catch Up English.
Bye, everyone. Keep practicing.
See you next time.